The Bhag Okay, welcome back, everyone. I have people in the waiting room. Just a second. Give me a second so that everyone can be in. And I hope you all have been thinking about the question that we had, right? Who am I? So I want you all to quickly get to the chat box and put in the chat box, if somebody asks you this question, who are you? What would be your response to it? Chat box, please. Oh, Prashant is already enlightened. Prashant directly is saying he's a soul. Okay. We have a member here who is enlightened. What about the rest? Saumi says normally you'd say your name, ethnicity, nationality. Okay, but technically, Atma. Okay. What does technically mean? Okay, Atma, by the way, means soul in Hindi. So she says technically she would say Atma, and otherwise she would say her name, ethnicity, and all of that. Okay. Okay, Arushi has a very interesting answer. I am my collection of experiences, actions, and decisions. Okay. That would be I think that would be intimidating to a person who's hearing that answer. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry to keep you waiting. Okay, Rahul says he would say, I am a human being. If you're conversing with other human beings, I think they would be aware of that. Okay. Pranav says, 1 among 5 billion, finding a reasonable way to survive. This sounds like an Instagram bio to me. Sorry. 1 among 5 billion. Okay. There can be many answers to this question depending on who's asking. Oh, this is also an interesting answer.
Yeah.
I thought you would say your name.
I was about to say that if someone in university or outside, they will ask, I will say I'm a student.
Okay.
So it depends who.
Okay. Pranav's response has got a lot of appreciation. 4 people are laughing. And all of us in house as well. So yeah. So essentially, who are we? So if someone asks me, even I would say probably my name. And like Priya says, if someone is another student, I would say I'm also a student from like you from the University of Dundee, right? And let me put a small introduction in there because I forgot to introduce myself to you all yesterday, unfortunately, and even today. So if you are asking me this question, okay, who are you who's doing this Bhagavad Gita course? So I am another student just like you guys. I am a postgraduate student of public health studying at the University of Dundee. And I've been doing study circles for the Bhagavad Gita from the past 3 years, leading a few study circles. We have discussions every day on the Bhagavad Gita, right? So, yes, there was someone who was trying to join. Apologies. So that's my introduction. And it's a learning journey for me as well. Okay, so I'm learning with you all. And the Bhagavad Gita is a scripture that is studied for the whole of a lifetime. Okay, it's not something that you can grasp in 18 days, nor in a year, right? So it's a lifetime study, and I am learning with everyone here, right? Okay, so let's see what should be the answer to this question. Who am I? Who are you? Just confirm if you can see my slides. Okay, perfect. I've got a response that you're able to see my slide. Okay. So what is our identity really? we need to find out whether we actually know our identity. So let me ask one of you who is in-house here. So who are you, Priyanka? I'm asking you this question, and not in an offensive sense, in a very nice and humble, friendly way. So can I know who are you? So what would be your answer? So imagine this is our first meeting, right?
Yeah.
So how would you introduce yourself? Who are you?
Oh, one is just going to be the very basic introductions that I am Priyanka and I am from this. This is what I'm doing. So like if the conversation goes a little bit.
Right.
That's it.
Right. So Priyanka says she would, say her name and what she's doing. So what does, if somebody has to, if you would have to imagine Priyanka, what would your imagination be? So someone, you have different friends, right? Yeah. And imagine that you have a friend called Priyanka. So when you say Priyanka, what comes in your mind? What do you visualize? I want all of you to think about this.
Actually, no.
Okay, Aparna has a very interesting answer. She thinks of Priyanka Chopra, Bollywood actress who's now in Hollywood. Okay.
Probably a name of a girl. Like if randomly someone says Priyanka.
I'm saying what appears in your mind. Their face? Yes. So their face appears, they're probably the whole of how they look, their body, their outfit, how they dress and stuff like that, isn't it? Huh? What else? Does anybody have other things that appear? Okay.
In our culture, the name represents the personality. So maybe we can imagine if the person's name is Priyanka, she might be very cheerful or creative.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You immediately feel their emotions as well to some extent if you know them very well. So if you hear the name, okay, this is that cheerful girl who's always happy, is always singing, stuff like that. Right? So, okay, Kartikeya says nothing appears. He's blank.
To be quite honest, it's like it depends on what people know about you and who knows you. Because it's like if some other person who just knows me by name, or if he knows me through a friend,
right?
If he talks like they are talking about me, I don't think so such thing will appear. Or the only thing which will appear is what he has told him about me. So like if there is someone who is really close to me, he knows that what I am. So like that. So basically it is all the impression which we build to them, like, and what others are saying. So like it is like that whatever, it's all like the process. So
Right.
That is how it appears.
Right. Perfect. So I think you all have heard Priyanka's answer there. So when we think of a person or when we think of ourselves, what comes to our mind is probably the first thing that comes to our mind is our body and how we look and how we dress. And all along with that, our personality and some parts of our emotions as well. Okay. Because we are supposed to know ourselves the best, isn't it? Compared to everyone else, even including your closest friend or family member, you are supposed to know yourself the best. But even then, when you think of who am I, what comes to your mind is your, how you dress, how you look, how some of your emotions, how your personality is. But is this really your identity? Is this really your identity? So if you're, this is, I'll give you a situation which will make things a little bit more clear. So you all have gone on vacation to Maldives, okay, with your friends. There's water all over, all all around you. It's just amazing. You're having great fun. Your dear friend is wearing a nice, lovely hoodie in Maldives, which is uncommon, but he or she is, okay, and he ends up falling in the water and drowning. Okay, he does not know how to swim, although he's come with you to Maldives. Okay. There's a situation, no questions about the situation, please. So now he is asking for your help, right? Now you decide to go and you catch hold of his hoodie and he ends up somehow, he's in the water, he's out of the hoodie, he drowns, you saved the hoodie. And you flash the hoodie all over the place and say that Hey, I've saved my friend. Hey, look, I've saved this guy. Okay. Assuming his name is Prashant, because Prashant is the enlightened one in the batch. So, Prashant, I've saved him. Huh? If you say that, does this make any sense? Have you really saved Prashant? No. Why is it a no? Why is this a no? Because it's obvious, isn't it? This is obvious. So in our systems, in our culture, in the Bhagavad Gita, what Lord Krishna says in the one of the shlokas in the chapter 2 is Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnan anyani samyati navani dehi. And what does this mean? So when you have really, we all have so many sets of outfits and clothes, right? But we still buy new ones and discard the old ones, right? When we have all of us have this one favorite outfit which we will always love to wear, which is our go-to outfit. But over time, what happens? That outfit, because we are wearing it over a period of time, gets worn out, right? And it's no longer fit to be worn outside, let's say. It's no longer fit to be worn anywhere. So do we still continue on with that same outfit forever because it's very dear to us or because we really like it? No, right? Because it's an old outfit and it's the need of the hour that we discard that and get a new one. It is said that the body that we have is like an outfit that we wear, and it has an expiry date, right? So we have to let go of this body eventually, and it's a law of nature. It's not a choice that you make, unlike clothes. So it's a law of nature that you have to pass through, this body, which is like a piece of clothing, okay, and discard the piece of clothing that's old and worn out and go into a new one. Okay. So unless, and this goes on and on, you go on and on, transmigrating from one body to the other until you learn the lesson that you're meant to learn in life, right? So life is not something that we have imagined as life. It's not just a small thing from our birth to childhood to, we becoming adolescents and, enjoying with our friends and all of that, going to university, going further ahead in life, having children and all of that. Finally, old age. And that short span of time from birth to death is what we imagine to be life. But really, life is not that small span. Life is that whole journey where, you go from one body to the next body, to the next body, to the next body, until you end up realizing what this is all, until you learn to deal with the challenges, basically, that come at you. Okay. And for a lot of us, according to our scriptures and according to the research that's been there in the Indian tradition, life is not a challenge of one lifetime. Life is something that is experienced over several lifetimes. Okay. And we will see further in the chapters ahead that in our scriptures, although we have not discovered, so many species yet scientifically, it's believed that there are 8.4 million species of life forms other than the human life form that exist in the universe. Okay, it's actually believed to be a multiverse and not a universe, many universes with many life forms. And we not just transmigrate through human bodies, we transmigrate through these 8.4 million species. And the highest level of evolution is the human body, it's believed, right? So this is our last chance to actually learn the lessons, that we have to learn, because this body is, technically, if you see, it's like the latest model, highly evolved. What's the latest model of iPhone? Sorry. What's the latest model of iPhone?
iPhone 14 Pro.
iPhone 14 Pro, iPhone 15. Okay. So iPhone 14 Pro is the best model of, phone that you can have. So similar to that, a body in which the consciousness is highly evolved to the highest level is believed to be the human body. And with this body, we can understand things way better than us being in the body of a cat or a dog or a bird, right? So This is our chance to redeem. This is our chance to, and this cycle goes on, basically. Birth and death, birth and death, birth and death, different bodies, until we realize why we're here. Mm. Realize that these challenges are not coming so that we avoid them and start worrying about them. These challenges are coming so that we learn to handle them, right? Okay. So that is one concept of our real identity that is given in the Bhagavad Gita, that we are the soul and not this body that we identify with, neither this personality that we identify with, neither these emotions that come and go, right? Emotions are something that are there for a while and they're going to go away after a while, isn't it? So actual identity is thought to be a spirit soul. And the spirit soul, now people can ask me, how can you say spirit soul? Who has seen a spirit soul? Huh? How can you claim? Does somebody have an answer for that? I want to know from you all. You will have this question yourself, or somebody might ask you if you believe in the soul theory. Huh? Somebody might ask you, how can you prove the existence of a soul? Huh? So how would you answer this question? I'd like to know from you all. Is a matter of experience, right? That's a very profound answer, because there have been people who have researched on this question for years on end. Okay. And people have had documented evidences. There are several documented evidences of out-of-body experiences, of reincarnation. Have you all heard of Professor Ian Stevenson? Has anyone heard? Do I have any psychology or psychiatry students in the audience? Can people from psychology, psychiatry backgrounds, or even medicine, please raise your hands? Virtually? I have a few doctors here. And they're not raising their hands. I'm a dentist myself, and I'm doing public health. All right. I have Anish, who's a medical student. Okay. Arushi as well. Psychology in particular, is there anyone from psychology? Saumi as well. Okay. Arushi, Saumi. Arushi and Saumi. Okay. None of you are from psychology. Arushi is. So I'm sure you people would have definitely heard or read about Professor Ian Stevenson. So he was the head of the Department of Psychiatry there in the University of Virginia. And he has produced several research papers with over 200 documented cases of children remembering their, having spontaneous memories of their past lives. You can all go back and read. And this is all documented and it's all out there available for you to read. And he was a very respected person, Professor Ian Stevenson. He has published several books that are available on the public domain for you to go read. So reincarnation is not something, just because you do not remember things, you can't claim that it's not there, right? Imagine a blind person saying that the no colors exist. Because it is not in his experience, he cannot claim that it does not exist, isn't it? So because some of the things are not in our experience at the moment or in our memory, that does not mean that they do not exist. So there is the concept of reincarnation, the birth and death cycle, the soul in this chapter. And it is considered, Atma Tattva is considered the first concept that you learn in the Bhagavad Gita. The concept of identifying yourself correctly as not this body, not this mind, not this personality, not these emotions, not your friend circle, not the people around you, not the place that you study or live in. It is you. And what do you mean by soul? What is that one thing that makes the soul different from the body? Can anyone? I know a lot of you are extremely brilliant in the audience and you know the answer. Okay, I have somebody referring a book also. There's Professor Brian Weiss, who is also a psychiatrist, who's published a book called Many Lives, Many Masters. And he has this patient who recollects several of thousands of her past lives, in fact. So you can go read if you're really interested. The soul keeps changing the body. No, this is a simple question. So what is the difference between you and a corpse, a dead body, right? If you say you're a body, What's the difference between you and a dead body? Both are bodies, isn't it? What makes that difference? Breathing. Oh no, we have something called CPAP. So where we can artificially, inflate the lungs and, collapse the lungs artificially, and the person would practically be still breathing. A person who's dead would practically still be breathing. So breathing is not something that, differentiates somebody who's dead and who's living. The illumination. Body does not illuminate. What? Nice. Illuminate. Okay. Just watch on TV. It's not what I read. Okay. Logically, it does not make sense, because what you're saying is okay, illumination. Okay. Okay, it's an answer. Okay, illumination. Do we have conscience? It's very close to the word that I am looking for. Perfect. So we've got the brilliant member in the audience. Nikki has given the right answer, and consciousness is something that makes a dead person and a living person different from each other, isn't it? And if you go through these accounts of out-of-body experiences, you will see that the consciousness essentially does not have something called death. It does not experience death. Consciousness is something that enables you to have experiences in this body, and not something that, itself can experience death or ceases to exist. So consciousness is something that is eternally present, and it undergoes experiences, right? So you essentially, as the soul, consciousness is one of the foremost properties of a soul, right? It is conscious and it can experience, it can go through different bodies. I know this is not something that you can end up imagining or experiencing. So it appears to be something that is very difficult to understand. It is difficult to understand, right? You just accept the fact, but the authoritative scriptures have told us that this is the reality, this is the truth. And as people, understanding that we are not capable of experiencing this, or fully understanding it in the first few attempts, we agree to what is being told to us, right? Your parents tell you as a child, you're very excited when you see fire, you run towards it, and you want to jump inside and see what happens. But they warn you, right? They warn you that do not go there, it will burn you, right? Whether you're a child, whether you are an old person, whether you're a dog, a monkey, or whatever, the fire is fire, right? It will burn anyone who comes to it. And a person of experience is telling you that if you go near the fire and put your hand inside it, you are going to burn. Now, the wise child will listen to this experienced person. The child who says that, no, I will experiment it myself, I will accept it only if I feel and experience this, is going to be burnt, right? So we need to accept the fact that it is very wise to take advice from someone who has experience, who knows things, right? Especially when you don't know what it is. And even if it's something that interests and excites you, you want to explore it. But it's very wise to first check and then, first verify it, take the guidance, and then proceed, isn't it? Okay, so we are very, very way beyond our time today. What's the time? Can someone confirm? 6 o'clock. Oh, right. So I'm going to stop here, because we have a lot more to explore in this chapter, and we are going to continue this in the next session as well, because this is one of the important chapters. I can't leave it like that in between. So we're going to stop there with the concept of identity. We have few more concepts in this chapter. So we have seen G, Guru, and I, identity today, right? 2 more concepts, and we are going to deal with in the next session, right? T and A. What are the 2 dharmas and what is Ananda? In the meanwhile, you have your whole weekend, which is a good time period for you to go back and explore Professor Ian Stevenson's work, Professor Brian Weiss's work. And, if you do not think that reincarnation is a feasible concept, birth and death is birth and death is just something that happens. And this period of time is there for you to enjoy. This is what you think. you can go and do a little bit of research and see what in the Hindu concept, in the, in the Indian tradition, what this life, birth and death cycle means, right? So we are going to stop here and we are going to have our live quiz right now. Okay. I want everyone in house and on the Zoom meeting to please open your chat box. Be ready to answer the questions. All right. I'm going to stop the screen sharing. I will give you 30 seconds to get ready because everyone's having on, I see everyone on their phones already, right? Okay. It's going to be it's going to be based on what we've discussed a little bit from today and from yesterday as well. So 3 questions. All right. The first question, brace yourselves, be on the chat box. The first question. So, what was the first thing that Arjuna did after deciding not to fight? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. I have a lot of answers. I want it to be a single word. So people giving single word answers would be preferred here in this sense. But all of you are right in what you're saying, even in a phrase. But I'm expecting a single answer. Anyway, you're all right. And I'm very happy it's a unanimous correct answer here. Talk to Krishna about it. But in what way? See, in what way? The humble attitude, an attitude knowing that he is a senior person, and he knows better than me, and I am surrendered unto you means I am ready to take your instructions and guidance. I know what you're going to say is going to be the best of my interest, right? Yes. So the answer for this will be revealed to you via email or WhatsApp if you're on the WhatsApp group. Okay, great. Second question. We're going to stop this. Is anyone remaining that did not answer? I can give you 5 seconds to still answer the first question if you want. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Question number 2. What is our real identity? I'm getting instant lightning answers. So everyone's enlightened after this session. Congratulations, hooray, eureka moment. Enlightened people. Okay. So it's a unanimous answer. Okay. And we're doing this pub quiz because we're going to have winners every session. The person who gives the right answer, the fastest, this is like fastest finger first, will be, glorified. Basically, they'll be put on the group, and the person who consistently gives right answers over the 18-day period is going to get a special surprise gift or a prize that we have. Okay. So the last session, it was Divya. Let's see who is it. The last question now for today, with which you can redeem, if you have not been able to get to the first position before. So let's see. The last question of the day is a little difficult one. Okay. And it's going to be from yesterday's as well as today's discussion. All right. Okay. So what was the name of the father of the Pandavas? I'm going to keep it easy. Knowing Pandav. Okay. Someone's answered knowing Pandav. Okay. Okay. Getting a lot. Oh, Arushi says it's Pandy. Okay. His actual name was Pandu. Okay. Right. All right. Perfect. Okay, Arushi, it was a typo. Okay. Sorry. I agree with you. Right. Lalitha auntie is not able to control her laughter. All right. Perfect. So his name was... We have all kinds of typos coming up. Okay. Right. Yeah. His name was Pandu. Okay. So that was today's session. I know it's something that's too heavy to get the first time you hear it, too heavy to understand. It's too deep a concept. But our attempts to study, you have to start somewhere, right? If you're setting out to study astrophysics, which is something that is really, for me, it appears to me like something that's all stars all over the place. I can't understand it, but you can still try. You can start, right? Every trial starts. It has to begin somewhere. Each of your attempt has to begin for you to get ahead. So, right, we have made a start, and congratulations on making a start, right? Okay, we're done with the live quiz for today. I'm going to save the chat, okay, and I'll have the timestamps. I will publish the winner for today by tonight, 10:30 p.m. We'll see on the WhatsApp group, right? Is there anybody in the audience today who is not on our WhatsApp group and who has not already emailed us about not wanting to be there? No, she had emailed us. So, yeah. Is that okay? All right. No worries. Okay. I'll do that. Okay, so everyone's on the WhatsApp group. So you will all see the correct answers for my questions today. And you will also see, I think you already know the answers. So I'll put the correct answers and I'll put the winner for today as well. Right. All right. So now I am very happy to open for the next, we have around 8 minutes in this meeting. And I'm all right with any of you wanting to leave as well. I understand everyone has time constraints. But if you have questions from today's sessions, please feel free, to raise your hands online. I will give you a chance to unmute yourself. And the people who are in here, I'm very happy to take questions from you as well. So I'll take a question from a person who's here, and then I'll take an online question. And it's going to go on for the next few minutes, just like that. Right. Do we have any questions? No questions. Everyone's speechless. Okay. I'm sure the session, this particular chapter is meant to be a very interesting one, and you're supposed to end up with too many questions, ideally. Thank you, Arushi. Thank you, Anish. Right. We don't have any questions. Do we need to learn Sanskrit to understand the Bhagavad Gita? Is a question by Harsha in the chat box. So what was spoken by Lord Sri Krishna is in Sanskrit, an ancient language that we used to speak back in India, and some parts, very few people, around 14,000 people in India still speak Sanskrit. So at this point in time, it has all been translated word by word. So it is not essential that you learn Sanskrit as a language to understand the Bhagavad Gita. But if you're really interested, please get in touch with me. People who want to learn Sanskrit, I can put you on a free Sanskrit class, and you will also receive, certificates after you complete an exam. It's an online exam. So you can complete that exam and be certified and learn Sanskrit from a qualified person, right? So you can put it in the group, in the WhatsApp group, or on the chat box just now, and I'll make note of whom I need to get back to. Right. Any in-house questions? No. I've been having questions on the chat box. Okay. After I take Kumar's question, I'll unmute you, Pranav. Okay. Mr. Kumar says, is Bhagavad Gita a small part of the epic Mahabharata? Yes. Yes, it is. You're right. The epic Mahabharata is it's an epic, so it's a big storyline, starting from, the childhood pastimes and childhood memories of Pandavas, Kauravas, and all of that. What happened during the Mahabharata battle, what happened after the battle, right? So it's a complete story. It's not just the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is just that bit of the Mahabharata where, on the battlefield, Lord Krishna guides Arjuna. Okay. Pranav, I'm going to unmute you. Arushi, I've made note you're interested in learning Sanskrit, right? If you can give a shout out on the WhatsApp group as well, I can send you more details so that, I get your number as well. Okay, I am going to unmute Pranav. Pranav, are you able to unmute yourself? Okay, great.
Yeah, namaste.
Namaste.
I have a question. When you said Arjuna had a overwhelming rush of emotions and he didn't want to fight the battle.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me right, Krishna emphasizes on the word that it is your dharma to fight the battle. So what Krishna was saying there, was it merely to protect Arjuna from humiliation? Because if he runs away from the war after preparing for 4 to 5 decades, it's a huge humiliation. But was it just about humiliation?
Yes.
Or a soldier today in contemporary context, right? Imagine in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the Ukrainian soldiers, after being prepared, they leave the war. I mean, what about the Russian civilians? So is it merely about humiliation, or is there a bigger purpose to it?
Yeah, definitely. It's a very nice question. But the first thing I'd like to clear the air about is it is just Arjuna who has experienced his emotions and asked for guidance from Krishna all through the first chapter till whatever part of the second chapter we have discussed till now. So Lord Krishna hasn't spoken yet. Okay. So Lord Krishna hasn't started giving the guidance yet. I was just giving you context for what's going to come up later. And protection from being humiliated is one of the reasons. So like I said, Arjuna was a great warrior, the greatest archer of that time, right? And there are a lot of people in the entire society looking up to him as a person, right? As an example that they will follow. Imagine the greatest warrior of that time, the greatest archer of that time running away from the battlefield. What kind of an impact that would have on the younger children and the generation that is looking up to him as an inspiration, as an example, right? So that was one of the reasons, later when Lord Krishna gives his advice to Arjuna, you will see that he tells him that, being such a great warrior, it doesn't, you will not serve your responsibility of being an inspiration to many people. You have to lead by example. This does not permit that. So you will see that Lord Krishna has not yet given any guidance. So what I just told was to give you a slight, background of the context and setup, set the scene for what's coming next, right? So we will see further as we proceed in the second chapter. In the coming week, your question should be clarified, I believe. Is that okay, Pranav? Okay, Pranav gave me a thumbs up. Thank you. Pranav or Pranav, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. All right. Is there any other question or anything that you feel that is unclear at this time? Okay, I don't see anything coming up. Right. Okay, Prashant has something written in the chat box. If our destiny has already been written, can we change it? It is said that our past karma influences our present life. Okay, Prashant, like I said in the beginning of the session, you are the enlightened child in the batch. And you're asking questions from chapter 4 and chapter 3, which deals with karma yoga, right? And destiny and free will is going to be a huge discussion in the coming chapters called karma yoga. So we will deal with this question, and it's just not the time now. So I'm going to park your question for the next week. Okay, we will discuss destiny and free will, and over the coming weeks as well. It's spread over several chapters, the whole concept. So we will deal with this, right? Past karma, what is past karma, what is the present karma, what is future karma, the whole concept of karma, we will discuss it. All right. Okay. So thank you, Prashant, for that question. So we have less than a minute. I really thank you all for joining in-house, coming all the way here, and all of you who have joined online as well. Thank you so much. And we will meet next week. Do your research. We will share some resources on the group to you, okay, over mail as well. So see you all. I'm going to end with a small prayer. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Divya. Thank you, everyone. Ritika.